Imagine a world where you are no longer bound by society's rules, no longer limited by the morality imposed upon you by others. A world where you create your own path, live by your own values, and rise above the limitations of humanity as we know it. This is not a fantasy. It is the vision of Friedrich Nietzsche's Ubermensch, a concept that, to this day, challenges us to rethink what it means to live an extraordinary life. But what is the Ubermensch, and why did Nietzsche believe that only a few could ever reach this higher state of being? Friedrich Nietzsche, the German philosopher, introduced the concept of the Ubermensch in his groundbreaking work, Spoke Zarathustra, first published in 1883. Zarathustra, the protagonist of the story, is a sage who comes down from the mountains after years of solitude to share his wisdom with humanity. The Ubermensch is the central idea of his teachings, a new kind of human who transcends traditional morality and limitations. Nietzsche believed that human beings are not fixed or static. We are capable of becoming more than what we are. But to reach this new state, the Ubermensch, requires a radical transformation of the self. It is not for the faint of heart. The Ubermensch is not just a stronger or smarter human. Nietzsche's Ubermensch is someone who has the courage to reject the old values of good and evil, to overcome fear and mediocrity, and to create their own path. This is what he referred to as self-overcoming. Here, Nietzsche challenges us. In his view, humanity is merely a bridge to something greater, a stepping stone to the Ubermensch. The idea is that humans, as they are, live in a state of constant contradiction. On one side, we seek comfort, tradition, and conformity. On the other, we yearn for greatness, creativity, and freedom. The Ubermensch embodies this latter force, the creative spirit that transcends the limitations of human nature. But why did Nietzsche think this was necessary? Nietzsche saw society as trapped in a kind of moral slavery, bound by what he called slave morality. These were the values of the weak, who glorified humility, obedience, and self-sacrifice. In contrast, Nietzsche believed in the development of a master morality, one where the individual creates their own values based on strength, power, and life-affirming virtues. This wasn't a declaration of atheism. It was Nietzsche's way of saying that traditional values and religious systems no longer held the power they once did. Without God, humanity needed new values to live by. And who could create those values? The Ubermensch. Nietzsche was well aware of the monumental challenges in this vision. He was not an optimist about humanity as a whole. In fact, he debated whether the majority of people could ever become Ubermenschen. Most, he believed, would be too afraid to leave behind the comfort of herd mentality, clinging to the security of shared beliefs and societal norms. He feared the rise of the last man, a figure who embraces mediocrity, seeks comfort over greatness, and avoids risk in favor of safety. Nietzsche warned that the last man's world would be one where creativity dies and humanity stagnates. In Zarathustra, he says, "Alas, the time is coming when man will no longer give birth to a star. Alas, the time of the most despicable man is coming, the man who can no longer despise himself." To Nietzsche, the Ubermensch stands in stark contrast to this. The Ubermensch despises comfort and safety, seeing them as obstacles to self-overcoming. The Ubermensch seeks to live dangerously, to embrace challenge and suffering as necessary steps in the journey of becoming. So, what does this mean for us today? Is Nietzsche's vision still relevant in a world of technology, consumerism, and social media? Absolutely. In a time where we're often pressured to conform, Nietzsche's call for self-overcoming challenges us to break free from the values imposed on us, whether by society, media, or even our past selves. The Ubermensch is a reminder that we have the power to create, to push beyond our current state, and to live authentically according to our own values. The Ubermensch doesn't wait for permission, nor does it live by the rules of others. Instead, this higher being takes life into its own hands, crafting meaning where none existed before, thriving in chaos, and embracing the difficult journey ahead. Friedrich Nietzsche didn't offer us an easy path, nor did he guarantee that all of us would reach the heights of the Ubermensch. But he did leave us with an idea, a vision of what humanity could become if we are willing to face our fears, reject societal constraints, and forge our own values. In Thus Spoke Zarathustra, Nietzsche tells us, "I teach you the Ubermensch. Man is something that shall be overcome. What have you done to overcome him?" The Ubermensch is not just a philosophy, it's a challenge. It asks us, will we settle for comfort and mediocrity, or will we strive for greatness? Will we be the last men, or will we dare to become more? The choice is yours.